Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, like this video and press the bell icon. Tailwind CSS is the most popular utility framework, loved by most developers. With Tailwind CSS, you have complete control over your design without the need to write custom CSS. In this video, you will learn how to implement dark mode in Angular 17 using Tailwind CSS. We will use Angular Signal, which was introduced in Angular version 16 and local storage for this purpose. First we will install Angular 17, then we will install Tailwind CSS, and after that we will start implementing dark mode feature. Let's get started. Go to the directory where you want to install Angular 17 app. Click here and type cmd to open command prompt. Now, type the command ng new, your project name, and press enter. Use the arrow key to select stylesheet format. CSS is already selected, so press enter. Now for server-side rendering, type n and press enter. It will take some time to download, depending on your internet connection, so please wait for the download to complete. The download has been completed. Now, type cd your project name to navigate to the project directory. Open your project in Visual Studio Code. Open package.json file. Here you can see the installed Angular version is 17.3.0, which is the latest version. Click here and open a new terminal. Now, click here and select Command Prompt to open Command Prompt. Now type the command ng serve to run our app. Go to your browser and type localhost:4200 and you will see new Angular 17 page with new logo. Now let's install Tailwind CSS. In Google, type Tailwind CSS and press enter. Click on this link. Click on the docs link. Now click on Framework Guides. Click on Angular. Since we have already installed Angular, let's proceed to the next step. Copy this command. Click here and select Command Prompt to open Command Prompt. Paste the command which you have copied. It will take some time to download, depending on your internet connection, so please wait for the download to complete. The download is complete. Now we need to run the init command to generate a tailwind.config.js file. Copy this command. Paste the command which you have copied. You can see tailwind.config.js file is generated. Open this file. Now we need to add the paths to all of the template files in tailwind.config.js file. Copy this highlighted code. Replace this code with the copied code. Now, we need to add the Tailwind directives to styles.css file. Click here to copy. Open styles.css file and paste the Tailwind directives in the file. Now, we can start using Tailwind CSS utility classes. Click here to copy this code. Open app.component.html file and remove this code. Paste the Tailwind CSS code which you have copied. Let's add text green 500 to this h1 tag. Open the command prompt in which the server is running. Press Ctrl+C to stop the server and restart the server using ng-serve command. Now, go to your browser and you will see that Tailwind CSS classes have been applied. Let's create a navbar component where we will add moon and sun icons to toggle the dark mode. In your terminal, type the command ng-c navbar and press enter. Here G is for generate, C is for component and navbar is the component name. Navbar component HTML, CSS and TS files have been created. Open navbar.component.html file. Now we will add Tailwind CSS navbar in this file. In Google type tailblock cc and press enter. Click on this link. Search for header. Click on this header block. Click here to copy the code. Paste the code which you have copied. Open app.component.html file. Remove this code and add app navbar selector. Open app.component.ts file and add navbar component in the imports array and import navbar component. Go to your browser and now you will see Tailwind CSS navbar. Let's add box shadow to the navbar. Here add shadow MD class. Go to your browser. You can see box shadow in the bottom of the navbar. Now let's add sun and moon SVG icons in the navbar for toggling the dark mode and light mode. In Google, type hero icons and press enter. Click on this link. Search for moon. Click on copy SVG to copy this SVG. Remove this button. Here add a div element with class relative, MD4, MD, MT0. Now add a div element with flex item center class. Add a span element and paste the copied SVG in this span element. Go to your browser and you will see the moon icon. Let's add the sun icon. Search for sun. Click on copy SVG to copy this SVG. Add another span element and paste the copied SVG in this span element. Go to your browser and now you will see both moon and sun icons. Now to implement the dark mode functionality, we will create a service. In your terminal, type the command ng-gs services/dark mode and press enter. Here G is for generate, S is for service, services is the folder name and dark mode is the service name. The dark mode service has been created. Go to services folder and open darkmode.service.ts file. Create a signal named dark mode signal, which is a signal of type string. Import signal from angular/core. The initial value of the signal is null. Add the type of the signal, which is string. Now, define a method called updateDarkMode, which will be used to toggle the theme of the user interface between dark mode and a null or light mode. We will use update method to update the value of the signal based on its current value. The callback function takes value as a parameter, which represents the current value of the dark mode signal. Within this callback, we use a ternary operator to conditionally return a value based on the current state of dark mode. If the current value is dark, it returns null, indicating that dark mode should be turned off. Otherwise, if the current value is not dark, it returns dark, indicating that dark mode should be turned on. This callback function effectively toggles the state of dark mode when used with the update method. Open navbar component.ts file. Here we will inject the dark mode service and import it. Declare a property named dark mode service with D in lowercase of type dark mode service. Import dark mode service. Now, initialize it by injecting an instance of the dark mode service using the inject function and import inject from angular/core. Now, create a method called toggleDarkMode which will be used to toggle the dark mode. In this method, we will use the updateDarkMode method, provided by the dark mode service. Open navbar.component.html file. Here we will use @if@else block to check the dark mode signal. When the dark mode signal is set to dark, indicating that dark mode is active, it renders a moon icon. Cut this code and paste it inside the @if block. Now add @else block. Cut this span element and paste it inside the else block. In the span element, we will use the click event on the toggleDarkMode method which we have defined in the navbar.component.ts file. Clicking on this icon toggles the dark mode state. In this span element also add a click event on the toggleDarkMode method. Clicking on this icon toggles the light mode state. Go to the browser. Click on the icon and you will see it toggles. To implement dark mode in Tailwind CSS, first we need to add dark mode configuration in the tailwind.config.js file. Open tailwind.config.js file. Here, we set dark mode to class. Now open navbar.component.html file. We will use dark variants which will style our navbar differently when dark mode is enabled. In the header class, add BG white and dark variant dark gray 800. Also add dark shadow 2XL. Here in the link, add dark text, gray 200. Now, in these links, we will add the dark, hover, text, green, 500 variant. This ensures that in dark mode, when we hover over the links, they will appear in green color. In the nav class, add text gray 900 and for dark mode add dark text, gray 200. Now in first SVG class, add dark text gray 400. Open app.component.ts file. Declare a property named darkModeService with D in lowercase of type darkModeService. Import darkModeService. Now, initialize it by injecting an instance of the dark mode service using the inject function. Import inject from Angular/core. Open app.component.html file. Wrap this app navbar selector inside a div element. In this div element, add class min_h_screen to ensure that the div covers at least the entire height of the screen. Add class min_w_full. Now add BG slate 200 and for dark mode add dark variant dark BG slate 700. Now we will use ngClass directive, which is used to add and remove CSS classes on an HTML element. Assign it the expression darkModeService.darkModeSignal from the darkModeService, which will dynamically apply classes for toggling between light and dark themes. You will see an error, can't bind to ngClass since it isn't a known property of div. To fix this error, open app.component.ts file and add common module in the imports array and import it. You will notice that the error has been resolved now. Go to your browser. Click on the sun icon and you will see it toggles to the moon icon and switches the navbar to a dark theme, and when click on the moon icon it toggles to the sun icon and switches to the light theme. Dark mode toggle is working, but here is a small issue. When we refresh the page, it will switch back to the light theme. Now, reload the page and you will see that it switches back to the light theme. To ensure that the selected theme persists even after refreshing the page, we'll utilize the browser's local storage feature. This allows us to store key-value pairs locally on the user's device. So, when you refresh the page, the selected theme will be retrieved from local storage, ensuring a consistent experience. But before that, let's create two components called content and footer. In your terminal, type the command ng content and press enter. Here G is for generate, C is for component and content is the component name. The content component HTML, CSS and TS files have been created. Now type the command ng, g, c, footer and press enter. Here G is for generate, C is for component and footer is the component name. The footer component HTML, CSS and TS files have been created. Open app.component.html file and add app content and app footer selectors after app navbar. Open app.component.ts file and add content component and footer component in the imports array and import both the components. Open content.component.ts file. Here I have defined an array named cards which contains objects representing different cards. Each card object has three properties: image URL, title and text. In the image URL, I have added an image URL from Pexel's website and set the width to 400 and height 200. Open content.component.html file. Here we will add content block from Tailwind's website. Go back to Tailwind's website. Look in the content section. Click on the last content block. Click on View Code. Click here to copy the code. Paste the copied code here. Remove this section. Remove second and third section with P4 class. Here we will use the @for block to iterate over arrays. Delete this src. Here we bind the src attribute to the card.imageURL property. Here we display the card title using Angular's interpolation syntax. In the p tag we display the text property of card object. In the section class, change text gray 600 to text gray 400. Add BG gray 200 for light mode background. Add dark BG gray 800 for dark mode background. In H2 class add dark text gray 200 for dark mode. In p tag add text gray 900 for light mode and dark text gray 200 for dark mode. Here add dark text green 500 for dark mode. Now go to your browser and you will see content component. Click on the sun icon and you will see it toggles to the moon icon and switches the navbar and content component to dark mode. Here we need to add footer component. Go to Tailblock's website. Look for footer blocks. Click on the first block. Click on View Code. Click here to copy the code. Open footer.component.html file and paste the copied code. Go to your browser. You will see an error. We need to add HTML entity instead of @character. Copy this HTML entity. Search for @ Replace @ with the copied HTML entity. Go to your browser and you will see that now the error has been resolved and footer component is now showing. In the footer component, I have added dark variants for dark mode. Go to your browser. Click on the sun icon and you will see it toggles to the moon icon and switches the navbar, content and footer component to dark mode. But when you reload the page it switches back to the light theme. To fix this issue we will use Angular Signal and browser local storage. Open darkmode.service.ts file. Here we will use effect, which is a specific type of signal that is executed when the value of a signal within it changes. When an effect is executed, it keeps track of any reading of the signal value, and each time one of these values changes, the effect is executed again. Add effect in the constructor and import it from Angular/core. Add an arrow function. Now we use window.localstorage.setItem method to store data in the browser's local storage. Now we use dark mode signal as a key under which the data will be stored in the local storage. Now we use json.stringify method to convert the value of this .dark mode signal into a JSON string before storing it in the local storage. The initial value of the dark mode signal is null, but now we will fetch the initial value from the local storage. We will use window.localstorage.getItem method to retrieve the value stored in the local storage under the key dark mode signal and parses it as JSON using json.parse. If the retrieved value is null or undefined, it returns null. Go to your browser. Click on the sun icon and you will see it toggles to the moon icon and switches to dark mode, and when you click on the moon icon it toggles to the sun icon and switches to the light theme. Open Developer Tools and then go to the Application tab. You can see that the value of the dark mode signal is dark in local storage. Reload the page and you will see that now the application retains its dark mode setting due to the use of local storage. When you click on the moon and sun icon, it toggles to the dark and light mode flawlessly. Let's make the navbar sticky and change the copyright year to 2024. Open navbar.component.html file. Add sticky top 0 in the header class. Open footer.component.html file. Change 2020 to 2024 and replace copyright symbol with and copy semicolon. Go to your browser. Scroll down and you will see that the navbar stays fixed at its position. Also, the copyright year is now 2024. Click on the icon and you will see that it toggles the dark mode to light mode. Reload the page and you will see that now the application retains its dark mode setting using local storage. In this video, we learned how to implement dark mode and light mode in Angular 17 using Tailwind CSS, Signal and local storage. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in next tutorial. Till then, stay safe.